Tonight's lesson is on combining like terms. We're on this page in your notes. Like terms are terms that have the same variable and the same power. So you might want to jot that in there. For example, if we were to add the following pictures of cats and dogs, what would we get? Well, this is like having, let's say, 3c plus 3c. That gives us 6c. In this case, I have 4d plus 4d, which gives me 8d. I cannot combine the c's with the d's. Doesn't work. To combine like terms in math, they must have the same variable and they must have the same power. Now we use our algebraic properties to move things around and regroup them so that we can combine them nicely. For example, if I look at number 1, it's not going to help me with order of operations to look at the 2x and the 4x. I can't do anything there, and I can't do anything with the 4y and the 5x, and I can't do anything with the 5x and the 8y. However, I can use my commutative property to switch the 5x with the 4y. That's the commutative property that allows me to switch the order, and then I'm going to also regroup, because if we think about this, I would get a 7x, then I'd have to combine that with 4y. Well, I can't really do that, so I want to kind of regroup my things together so I can combine the 2x and the 5x and the 4y and the 8y. That's using the associative property to group things differently than they would be grouped with order of operations. My final answer is going to be 7x plus 12y, and those cannot be combined. Number 2, again, I'm going to switch the order, so that's commutative property of addition, to say negative 5x minus 13x minus 8y plus 6y. Now you should be noticing a couple things that I did there. These symbols are subtraction, but they're also attached to the term that follows that symbol. So that is a negative 8y. You could say it's minus positive 8y, that's true, but in order to move things around, I have to take the sign with it. So it's very, very important that you notice that distinction. Now I can combine using the associative property. Be careful here, I want to take this negative 8y, so you can change that to a plus negative 8y if you want, because that's a negative 8y with my positive 6y. And I'm going to use the associative property to regroup them that way. And my final answer would be negative 18x plus negative 2y. Or you could write negative 18x minus 2y. Either of those are likewise correct. 5c plus 8 minus 14. And here I'm really only using the associative property. I don't have to regroup them. And really think about why I use the associative property there. If I didn't regroup that and say I wanted to do the 8 minus 14 in parentheses, I wouldn't be doing that first. So I would be stumped here. I wouldn't be able to go any further, right? Because I can't combine 5c plus 8. Associative allows me to say, well, they're not like terms, so I'm going to kind of group my like terms together and do that first. So this is a 5c, and that's going to be minus 6. 12 minus 2x plus 9y minus 12x plus 4. Well, again, I want to combine everything. Typically in math, our variables always go in alphabetical order, and then our constants or non-variable terms go last. So I'm going to start with my negative 2x. Again, notice I took that negative with the 2x. I'm going to subtract 12x. Then I'm going to add 9y. Then I'm going to add 12. And then I'm going to add 4. I've really used the commutative property a bunch of times there. Then I'm going to regroup so that I do these guys together and I do these guys together. And my final answer would be negative 14x plus 9y plus 16. Number 5, again, I see I have to use the commutative property a bunch of different ways, because look at the term negative 7xa and negative 2ax. Those are like terms. Absolutely, positively, because of the commutative property of multiplication. Negative 7xa is equal to negative 7ax. And again, I put those in alphabetical order just because that is standard in math. We call it standard form. I could have changed the negative 2ax into negative 2xa. Now I can combine those like terms, and now I'm going to switch these. So I'm using commutative of multiplication and commutative of addition here, and I'm going to switch them around. So I'm going to get negative 7ax minus 2 ax plus 15a plus 12 minus 12. Then I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have these guys that are like terms. This guy doesn't have anybody who's like him. And these guys are like terms. As you can see, I would get negative 9ax plus 15a, because the 12 and the negative 12 cancel each other out. Why don't you try 6 and 7 on your own? Of course, they're more complex, and come back and check your answers with me. Here are the answers for 6 and 7. You have to be really careful in 6. You have to watch your negatives, and you have to combine your like terms. This is the correct order. If you have it in a different order, just make sure that your 8 is negative, that your 9 is negative, and that your 12 is positive, and obviously a positive 20. That's really the key thing. I'm not going to require you to have it in standard form at this stage. Number 7 should have been actually a little easier. We can apply this then to different types of math problems, and you should be able to express the perimeter of each triangle in terms of x or y. All this is, remember, perimeter is the sum of all sides. So I'm going to add up those 3 sides of each triangle, and I'm going to get an expression to represent the perimeter. Pause here, try those on your own, and come back and check your answers. In number 8, just be careful that you're subtracting the 13 from negative 21 and getting finally a negative 8 there. So it's 35x minus 8 units. And in 9, 2y plus 13 units. For a little extra practice tonight, I would like you to take a look at this page in your practice packet and just do the back only. It's more geometric figures like we just saw in those last 2 examples. And so it's numbers 17 through 21, and then we'll practice a lot more of combining like terms tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.